Hi there, hope you're doing well. So today I will be making mini clafoutis. And so clafoutis are a classic French dessert that are made with fruit that is covered in sweet batter and then baked. And typically they're not made with tart shells, but I love the way the flaky texture of the tart shells balances off the custard-like texture of the clafouti. I think you'd really enjoy this recipe. Let's get started. So add your flour and cold unsalted butter to your food processor and pulse until it looks like wet sand or coarse sand. So you just want to pulse slowly. And then it should look like this. It should have that wet sand texture. Next, you want to mix your egg, milk, and salt together. And then add that to your flour butter mixture. Close your processor and then pulse until it's just combined. Turn your dough onto a floured surface, and then if necessary, pull it together until it forms a cohesive or homogeneous dough. So you'll see that mine is already very well combined, so there's no need for me to knead the dough. So all I'm going to do is pat it into a flat circular disc and then wrap it with plastic wrap and then chill in the refrigerator for at least 1 hour. Once your dough has chilled appropriately, cut off the amount that you need. So in this case, because I'm making only a small batch of tarts, I only need about 1/3 of the dough. I'll use the rest of the dough for something else. So what you want to do is pat the dough with your rolling pin until it softens and then roll it out. Next, you want to use a cookie cutter that is just slightly bigger than your tart tins to cut out the dough. This will give you just enough dough to fill your mini tart tins. So here I'm cutting out the circles, and I just floured it a little bit because it was a little sticky. So we cut them all out and set aside the extra dough. You can use it for something else later. So here I'm taking the tart tins, and what you want to do is press in the dough firmly into the corners of the mini tart tin. So press into the corners and the bottom of the tin. Once you're satisfied that you have pressed in the dough firmly into the tin, roll your thumb over the edge of the tart tin to remove any excess dough and set that aside. The same process for all the other mini tart tins. So once you're done filling your tins with the dough, put them in the refrigerator and let them chill for about 20 to 30 minutes. Then put them in the oven to bake for about 15 to 20 minutes. Stick with me to the end of this video and I will share a tip with you on how I bake my mini tart shells without them shrinking. Next, we'll start working on the batter that will go in the clafoutis. So add your cream and milk, and your flour, sugar, a pinch of salt, vanilla, and an egg. And then whisk vigorously until everything is well combined and the batter is smooth. So that's what you want it to look like. So no lumps from the flour, it should be completely smooth. So here's the tip I was going to share with you. So when I bake my mini tart crusts, I bake them using nested tins. So what that means is I put in an empty tin on the tin that's already been filled with dough and then bake for however long I need to bake, in this case 15 minutes. Next, it's time to fill the mini tart shells with the cherries. So just put as many cherries as will fit in your tart tin. So here I'm filling it with 3 half cherries. And you just continue this until you fill up all of your tart shells with cherries. Next, you want to fill your tart shells with the batter. So here I'm using a scoop just to make it easier. You can use a small spoon or an ice cream scoop, whatever works for you. So just fill it until it's almost full. So I'll say about maybe 2/3 full. Because what will happen is that it will puff up in the oven, but once it cools down, it will shrink. So put just enough batter in the shells. So next, because I have extra batter and have some extra cherries, I'm going to use about a 6-inch tart plate to bake a classic clafoutis without a tart shell. So I'm just going to pour that. So that's another way you can make a clafoutis, right? You can make it without the tart shells. So here I'm going to put in the oven, and I've baked these at 350 for about 15 to 20 minutes. And that's the other clafoutis. It took about half an hour to bake. So there you go. That was your easy mini clafoutis tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please try this recipe at home and let me know how it goes in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, you take care.